Nearly Christmas. 4 more sleeps. Welcome back. Not much to do today. I've got a tank full of Lockie bubbling away. Need to get another Murgy on, but no major desperate rush for that. If I feel like it's Saturday or Friday, I'll do it then. If not, between Christmas and New Year should do. We've got enough stock to keep us going. Bits to do today. A few last minute orders have come in. Got a web order to pack and drop off locally. We've got a pub order to deliver. The heat exchanger is now on the wall. Show you that in a minute. And I've got to basically strip down the old heat exchanger so that we can get it up to Martin Bailey, who's not chasing for it yet, but I think he will be soon because he's just getting rolling. But first, I'm going to have a little wander down the towpath because I feel a bit grim today, so I'm just going to get some fresh air and have a little walk. A little wander. It's been chucking it down, on and off. Not so cold though. Yeah, so what we've noticed over the last few months, and the same happened last year, obviously this is only our second winter at the brewery, so we're really trying to understand the pattern of business through the year and the seasonality. And I fully expected winters to be kind of busy in terms of cask sales to pubs, but the reality is it's not. We've developed this summer beer kind of reputation locally. Even the stout in demand in the summer, which again surprised me. I would have expected that to be busier in the winter. So cask sales to pubs this month, we've probably sold 7 or 8 casks so far. It's the 21st today, and the pubs are pretty quiet as I'm going past. You know, in the summer, these boats up and down this stretch of canal here, breweries just a few hundred metres this way. It's busy, particularly around the Folk and Boat Festival. People will hire boats and navigate around the Cheshire Ring. So from here you can go all the way up to Manchester round and back again in about a week, at 5 miles an hour, stopping at all the pubs along the way. And that's where our cask beer has been so well. It's done so well. I'm very pleased with it. But in the winter, no, it's dead. Fortunately, this year we had these cans, and thank you again. I know I keep saying thank you, but I mean it. We've been wiped out. So there's a little place down here I've not been to before. So I'm going to nip in and get a cheeky beer. Suitably refreshed, let's head back to the brewery. So I had just set up the camera to film me mauling the casks out of the cold room and then taking them outside and putting them on the back of the truck. And for the last part of the video, I set up the tripod there, pointing this way, so that you could see me grunting and with some flatulence lifting the I don't know, at least 50 kilo. No, is it right? Is that right? Yeah, 50 kilo casks into the back of the truck. And then the wind blew the camera over and has now put a big ding in it and deleted the recording. And I'm not about to lift them in again. We could do a Crime Watch reconstruction perhaps, but I haven't got time. And what I'd explained in the fated video was the labelling as well. So we've got the stock label. This is applied at the point that we rack the beer. As soon as we fill it, label goes on. And that's to provide tracking. That label's then linked to all the batches of ingredients that we've used. If ever there's an issue and we need to recall, we know exactly what went into this particular batch of beer. And that is batch 52 on the label. And then when we sell it, we work FIFO. The system tells us to pick a particular batch, in this case batch 52. And this is the delivery label which we apply, which gives you the pub or bar's name and a best before date. Which is tied to the date of production, and Typically we give the pubs at least a month to shift the beer, and if they ask, we can disclose a production date and extend a little bit sometimes if it's necessary. I generally put the best before date much shorter than the end of the actual expiry date, and there's no real expiry date on beer, right? It doesn't go off. Well, eventually it'll go off, I suppose, but it doesn't go bad. The quality might diminish and the flavour and aroma might diminish. So we'd rather serve it within, no more than 12 weeks really from date of production. But the proof of the pudding's in the eating. If it tastes good, sometimes we've had beers 6 months or more, and when we've tested them here, they're still wonderful. In fact, better in some cases once they've had a little bit more time to mature. There's the other cask. And then we got a box of beer for delivery to a local customer that's just ordered last night. Oh, still locked in there. So let's get those delivered. And then I'm going to do a little bit of Christmas shopping, just food stuff, which I'm not going to film because that would be weird. And then we might come back and do a bit more. Ta-da! White Lion at Weston. And they've put some empties out for me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think one's just gone as well, so there's probably a 7th in there. And we've got 2 replacements, so get those loaded in.
A few moments later.
I'm at the Crew Arms petrol station, and as many will say, I get irritated by the slightest little thing. And here's another one. This hotel that you can see there is the Crew Arms Hotel. Crew Arms. This is the sign in Tesco's window. What the hell is that? Bugger. I was hoping Sean would be in because he's got some yeast that he bought. We went halves on a bulk order, but he's not here. So, that's not good. Let's go rescue that before it damages something. It's not mine, it's one of Sean's. Let's go put it back for him. It's blown away in the wind. And stick it in here. That's better. It's a shame. I was going to say Merry Christmas to Sean, but I'll catch him another time. And close that. Honestly, the sound in here, if it's not the rain banging on the roof, it's the wind rattling the door. So hopefully you can hear me okay. Let's bring you up to speed. What's going on? You saw my little packaging area before, so that's been very busy. As you can see from the number of empty crates there, 40 cans in each crate. 1, 2, I don't know, dozens of them anyway. All sold, thank you. The Popty Ping Pie Warmer has been a recent addition. And Stig at Duo Filler. I nearly called him Stig of the Pump, but it's not a pump, it's a filler. Has sent 2 replacement hoses, fill hoses, which I've not installed yet, but if you can compare it with the old ones, you'll see there's a marked difference in colour, and I think the sizes are different. It definitely feels a little bit more squidgy. And I think it's temperature related. If the beer's too cold, I think the pipes... I was talking to Chris up at Raw Culture, Kombucha, uses the same kit, and he's had the same problem. We think it's temperature. When it's a cold day and the beer's cold, if you warm the pipes up, they go back to normal. Cannula, I bloody broke it, didn't I? Well, I didn't break it, but there's supposed to be a spring here to keep it in the centre position, and it snapped. I heard it go. So it still works, but I've got to just manually move the lever to where I want it. Otherwise it grinds against the top of the can as you put it in. But I need to get it apart and see what sort of spring it needs. I've looked for spares online at Kegland's website. I can't see replacement springs anywhere. Anyway, we'll work it out. Martin's heat exchanger, which I need to get up to him because he's going to start needing it soon. I think the rate that he's going. This needs just stripping down. Just check the seals are intact and everything's okay. Give it a good clean down. Check the seals. Put it back together, and it's just ready to use then. When he gets it. Fingers crossed. I've rearranged the draining boards somewhat. I was sick of trying to fight my way behind the cask washer to get to the caustic and Persid, so they're there now, for now anyway, temporarily, until we got somewhere better to put them, which has allowed me to shove these up that end and release this sink for work. This has got a caustic bath going on at the moment with a few bits from yesterday. These need sanitising and putting away. And I've not shown you down here for a little bit, but we'll just give you a bit of an update. In fact, let me just put the camera up here so I can talk to you face to face like. Will that work? That'll do. So this is 1,000 litres. We know this. It's marked on the inside, but you can't use the full 1,000 as is normally the case with these things, because if you were to fill it right to the brim, which is the 1,000, then when you put the lid on and it heats up, you get roughly 4% expansion-ish. It's going to splash over, so we underfill it, and as well I put the overflow in as close to the top as I could get it, but we're about 50 litres down, so I've got 950 in there. So and all my recipes were designed with smaller volumes in mind. So what we're going to do is, or what I've already started doing is just to rejig the recipes for 950 litres of liquor. That's mash and sparge combined. So we can completely drain this tank with a brew and get the maximum amount of beer out the other end without having to boil a few hundred litres to replace the mash amount, which is what we have been doing. So get Lockie's done in the tank, about 780 litres, less any losses that we get in the bottom. We'll know when we package it exactly what we've got, but I can tell you it went into the tank bang on the gravity that we need to get the ABV at the end, so absolutely perfect. Tomorrow, maybe Saturday, we'll do Murgy Straight. Same again, I've scaled it to use the full volume of liquor water that we have in the tank. We should get a little bit more out because there's a little less grain, so less absorption left behind in the mash tun. But if we hit the gravity, then there's another one ticked off. Then we'll just do Moston Dragon and Cross Stout at the next opportunity. I'll show you the other kit. We've got, I'll have to hold you for this. Mash tun is going strong. This door, my goodness, best invention ever. Mash tun doors, manways. So to empty it, we just open the manway, put a box on the floor in front of it and rake it out. There's a little bit of jiggery pokery needed inside just to sort of pull the grain forward, but it's very, very much quicker than digging it out with a shovel like we had to previously. So yeah, it was a good purchase. Yesterday I had 165 kilos of grain in there and about, what was the number now? Well, the meter said 475 litres, but in reality it was 575-ish. So it was brimmed to the top. And then the sparge, obviously, into the copper kettle, which you can see now has some hoses hanging off it because we decided to not have the pump permanently assembled. It was a great idea in principle, having it down there, but cleaning it was such a pain. I couldn't get under it. The pipes, through me trying to get under it, started to untwist a little bit. There was leaks and puddles on the floor, so we're just going to go back to how we were. It didn't save us that much time anyway, so the pump's up here now. I've kept the same sort of manifold on it as before, so we've got a couple of outlets, an RJT inlet, and we can switch between the two outlets depending whether we're going through the heat exchanger or recirculating or whatnot. So that works perfectly. The heat exchange is now up, reassembled, no leaks, worked straight off the bat, and actually has given me the improvement in efficiency that I needed much faster yesterday to get beer into that tank at the right temperature. And seemingly used less water in the process because we didn't overflow it. It almost filled it, but it didn't overflow, so a bit more efficient. Tank 1, crankshaft X crankshaft tank, we call this one cranky. And tank 2 is empty currently. That's where the Murgy Straight is going to go into. And then we kept one of the little ones, say little 400 litres, because the intention is still to turn that into a conditioning tank. I've been speaking to Shane Swindell's, the Oracle, as he's known, and he's given me some input. He's got a little kit that he can sell to me, which will allow me to carb in that. But I need to first check whether it'll take pressure, get it tested and whatnot. So that's the next job, because that will allow me to bulk carb 400 litres of beer instead of putting it into whatever 30s into 400 is. 13 kegs. Is that right? 300 litres, 30 litres, yeah. 400 is three more, isn't it? Yeah, 13 kegs. Battery's about to run out. And that is it. All that remains is for me to say Merry Christmas, have a great break, enjoy some good food, good beer, good company, and I will see you in the new year. Take care.